Welcome back, everyone. In this lecture, we're going to go over the solutions for the Python Text Basics assessment. Let's get started. Okay, here we are at the Python Text Basics assessment notebook. And if you come down, the first question was print an F string that displays NLP stands for Natural Language Processing. So this one's pretty easy. We just need to say print and then put an F in front of a string, and then we can insert the variables. So we're going to insert that abbreviation and then say stands for, and then we'll insert full underscore text. If we run that, you should get the result. NLP stands for Natural Language Processing. Just using an F in front of the string, and then inside the curly braces, passing in whatever variable name you want to insert. Next, we wanted to create a file, so we just had to run this cell. That does it automatically for us. Then we wanted to open the file and use .read to save the contents of the file to a string. So there's different ways we can do this. We're going to use the with operator. We'll say with open, and then we'll open contacts.txt, and we'll say as, and you can really call this whatever file you want. We can say as f. We'll say fields is equal to, and then we'll say f.read. So if you run that, let's just go ahead and make two cells here. If you're able to run this, then when you call fields outside of that, you should see fields is now this large string: first name, last name, title, extension, email. Next, we're going to work with PDF files. So the first thing is to actually import PyPDF2. Then we want to open the file. Remember, we need to open it with RB. So we'll say f is equal to open business proposal. And you can actually use tab to autocomplete this. And then say mode is RB. Then we're going to use PyPDF2 to read the text of the file. So I create this PDF reader object and say PyPDF2, and then call PDF file reader. So we'll say file reader, and then pass an F there, and then get the page from text2. So page2 text is equal to PDF reader, and then we're going to get page. And the challenge is to do this in one step, so you can actually chain the methods off each other. And to get page number 2, we're going to index at 1, since indexing starts at 0. And then we're going to call extract text. And you can do this in one step or two steps. So notice here I'm just chaining off the methods. And then we want to close the file. So I'll say f.close. And then we'll print the contents. So print page2 text. And if you run this, you should see these authors along with some emails. Next, we want to open the file contacts.txt in append mode and add the text of page 2 from above to the contacts.txt. So a simple solution for this could just be with open contacts.txt, and then we're going to open it in mode A+, and we'll say as f. We'll go ahead and write that page 2 text, and then we're going to seek back to 0, just so I can print this out to confirm that if I read it, I see the actual extension. So technically you don't need to seek or read this. This is just so I can confirm that I get to see this output. So if I run this, notice now how I see the output of the original contacts.txt file, and now I also see the appended information here from that PDF file. Now there was a challenge to this question, which was to see if you can remove the word authors. So notice right now, we actually don't have authors, we just have their email here. So it might be nice to be able to remove authors and then just have email as the last one, because it's kind of almost building out a CSV file. So the way we can do that is if we come back up here, we can rerun contacts.txt to essentially get a fresh version of this file. And then we're going to come down here, and then we want to remove authors because it showed up here in page2.text. So the way we can do that is we can say with open contacts.txt, and then A+, open it as whatever file name you want, and then I'm going to write page2 text, but I'm going to use string indexing to actually start grabbing at the 8th index position onwards, which is essentially everything after authors from this text right here. So just these 3 lines instead of this right here. So that will remove authors from being appended as seen there. So I'm going to write that, and then let's try this again. I'll seek at 0, and then print out f.read. And when you run that, now you don't see the authors there. So that's a little challenge, basically figuring out how to actually take that slice and remove authors. Okay, the last question was using the page2 text variable created above, extract any email addresses that were contained in the file businessproposal.pdf. Now there's actually lots of different ways you can build out a regular expression, and as long as you get these 3 email addresses, you should be good in whatever method you used. But let's go ahead and break this down. What are we actually looking for? We're looking for a set of alphanumerics, then an alpha symbol, another set of alphanumerics, a dot, and then a set of 3 letters, essentially .net, .org, .com, etc. So how can we actually build this out? Well, I'll first start off with R, and then I'll start building out my string. So I'm looking for a set. So we'll say in these square braces with a plus sign, \W, and then I'm looking for an @ symbol, and then another set of letters. We don't know how long they're going to be, which is why we're using the braces and the plus sign. And then we're going to say a dot, and then a \W, and then a set of curly braces for 3, because I'm looking for 3 on this last one, such as .net, .com, etc. So when you run this, you should then be able to get out this output of these 3 emails. Keep in mind, there's several ways you could have done this. Regular expressions are actually quite versatile, and they're actually even quite flexible. So you, for instance, could have edited this to be some other sort of regex pattern that also would have worked for this. So if you didn't figure out this exact pattern but still got the right results, that's totally okay. Okay, so I hope you found that useful, and now we're finished with Python text basics, so we can begin moving on with natural language processing basics and learning about the spaCy library. We'll see you at the next section of the course.